As I have to introduce myself after Simone, I will start with the work which I always lately try to avoid because I think it's an old work, why I always start with this, but as far as it goes, it became unavoidable because it's really kind of starting point for me. The work is 96, more than 25 years old, so it's explained a certain technological part of it, and it's called Lighthouse. So in 96, I was invited to First Manifesta. Being a young artist in those times, I was confused what to do in such a big show. So big show, it's always kind of Olympic Games. You're supposed to be presentative, to do something best of you. But for me, it was a confusion. Did I made already my best work, or I supposed to make it now? So both way for me, it was kind of inappropriate and impossible at the same time. So I started to think how artist actually could present himself. That's why I also start my presentation with this work. How I can present my thoughts, my work, which I carried with me day and night all these years in 20 minutes. So it's the same way how artist would present his burdenness in one show. So it's impossible to answer. So I decided that I can't select the work from the previous work. For me, it's very hard to think, to present and use the best work. But how actually artist would present his thought, his body as a part of himself. So I find out that fragility of humans is the one thing which is very important for me in a life and an art as well. So I decided how to present the artist within his body. So my idea was to install, it was Boijmans Museum tower, which is to present as a lighthouse with a heartbeat, which I supposed to transmit through the time of the show. So it's more than 3 months. And it's supposed to be a live monitoring of the life of the artist. In this case, I wouldn't say it's my own portrait, even that heartbeat is very personal. So it's unrepeatable, like a fingerprint or eyeball. So, but for me it was important that it's a human life on display. At the same time, even if you consider it's like a second monitoring as a documentation, for me it's important that documentation is dying together with actually a body which is documented. So, I start to think how to make it actually. Let's remember that more than 25 years ago, now I would say it wouldn't be a problem to use a mobile phone with broadband. It's not a question. But in those times, cellular phone just came to the market. So I went to several companies from Ericsson to Motorola to ask if they could support me with my transmission of my heartbeat. They tell, very well, but we can't give you 24 hours plan for 3 months. That's what we are living from. So, and in those times, that was the main purpose, the minutes, what you pay for. So I start to find, I start to look for the solution, technological solution, how to make it. Because as an artist, I believe you are stubborn with ideas. So even if you're a conceptual artist, you got some idea and you became a slave of your own idea to fight, to struggle, to realize it, to find an embodiment for your thoughts. So I didn't stop, so I started to look through the technological possibility, and of course modem was already introduced. It wasn't still Wi-Fi and broadband, but it was dial-up modem, 26, I don't remember what it was, speed of this modem, very slow speed with a telephone line. So I found a very nice engineer in Moscow who worked in Termin Center. He told, yeah, I can do it. But you know, you can't get 24 hours line. In those times, that was also the economical niche for the company, that people pay just by minutes, by impulses actually, but not 24 hours. But actually heartbeat, it's very low level of information, just 1 beat is 1 beat. So how many you do in a second? From 60 to 200 maximum. So it's not expensive, the time is a problem. And he told me, can we compress part of your heart beating, pull it through, make a pause, and pull it through again slowly. So that will make us economy. I tell, but then it's against the project, so I want to be a live monitoring, not with a delay. I tell, and here I got a very important message, actually, from the technological person, that everything going with a delay. So we can consider big delay, small delay, which is very relative. You tell, what would be for you acceptable delay? I tell, I don't know. I feel that it has to be that people would see how person live, how I live. If I die, I die. I tell, would be 10 minutes okay for you? I tell, what does it mean? You tell, if your heart stopped beating, they would know 10 minutes later. I tell, that's okay. It's acceptable. So what he did a program which was recording my heartbeat for 10 minutes, after pulling in a second to the station in Rotterdam, and it was another 10 minutes there. And I have to care all the time. Not such a big suitcase, so it was a new sensor placed on my ear, like ear clip, what Kettler used for the monitoring heartbeat on the sport machine. And a small radio transmitter, because I find out I can't carry modem with me, it was no Wi-Fi. And radio transmitter was sending a signal to my computer in a distance of 10 kilometers, and computer was pulling the information every 10 minutes. So, and a year later I was invited with the same project for the secession, where it was done in the dome of secession. I was still carrying the radio transmitter for 1 month. And here was another turnover with a project which is not separated from the artist, not separated from the human. So how you made institution to take care about artworks. All museums know how to take care for the artwork which is object or solid-based work. They know how to insure, they know how to transport, but what to do is a human being a part of artworks. It was a tricky moment. I tell, okay, if I live, you take care about my life, and so you will see how it will work out. And it was a fantastic moment that after 1 month I got a call from the curator of the secession, and they tell, probably you know why we are calling to you. So my first gesture was to put my palm to my heart to feel if it's still beating. And thanks God it was not reversible situation. My heart was beating, but the light wasn't blinking anymore. But did you check the fuse? Did you check the computer? It's still quite a line of technology between me and secession though. Yes. Our technicians check everything. Everything's working. That's why we are calling to you. So I figure out that those air clips, which I was carrying all the time, also showering with it, had a lead diode, which actually react on the transparency with heart pulling the blood. So it just get dirty. So I cleaned it out, and my life was on display again. So that was a project which I did 2 times in the 90s. And after I thought I wouldn't repeat it, and I was invited several times to repeat this project, because for me it was about importance of human life, importance of the present of human life, importance of fragility of human life. And if I would repeat it so often, it became kind of concert enterprisement, that now artist will come and will beat with his heart, and we all enjoy. So I decided to not repeat this project until 2011, when I was invited for the exhibition Impossible Community, organized by Victor Miziano, curator with whom I work also for First Manifesta. And I found out that it's very fitted for his idea about failure of communication, which he believed in the 90s, and that's all project was about. And at the same time, a new technology appeared. So I figured out that it would be possibility much more elegant for the realization of this project. Because my idea was to be present in several times, actually, to avoid the singular presence and to be visible in, the human life could be visible in several places. And in 2011, it was already very available broadband from the telephone. I found a computer engineer who made a program for my Bluetooth phone, so I have a very small sensor on my chest, nobody see, just a telephone, no other equipment in the hand, no even computer, so it was just a streaming. And at the same time, I can stream to several places, which was great option for me because I always see the artistic thoughts in a global scale, the importance in the global scale. When we talk about the scale of the work, you usually get a question as artist, is it a small scale work, or it's a middle-sized work, or it's a big scale work? I don't know what to answer about this work. Is it human life, it's a small scale, big scale, middle scale? If my heartbeat will be monitoring in New York and Vienna and in Moscow at the same time, is it belong to the great scale or it's still a big scale? So that's what I found very fascinating for me, to avoid this scaling measurement dimension. And at the end it's worked out. So I agreed with the Moscow organizer, so that way it was in Moscow in one of the skyscraper Hotel Pekin on the top, my heartbeat, and I agreed that even if they pay for my presence on the exhibition, I will keep it as a free open sources. So I sent to all my friends and non-curator a link where they could enter in my heartbeat streaming and plug anything from the table desk lamp to huge power station, whatever. So it was free open, and luckily it's happened in several places which I was actually looking for. So that's just to show that it was also visible during the day a little bit, and how it's looking the night. So it was visible from many places. Yeah, and that's how happened with a widen the area of presentation. At the same time, the curator from Bulgaria, with whom I worked several times, Yara Bubnov, tell, you know, I'm preparing museum nights in one of the cities in Plovdiv. And we think, what if we give your heartbeat for the whole street? I tell, you're free to do whatever you want. I'm very happy if you do, but do you think it's possible? Tell, yeah, we show your technological part to our technician. He went to the city power station. They tell, okay. So, and luckily it's happened. That's what I like mostly. And what I like mostly, I hear people talking. And ask Yara, can you tell me what was mostly talked about? You know, most people complain. They complain that it's the second biggest city in the country and they still can't make electricity working properly. But the most important moment when somebody from the project crew appeared to tell that it's a part of art project, the question vanished. So it was not mostly the second question, what kind of art project? Or what artists want to say with this? What artists want? So actually, I understand that art could be a nice excuse for some error or malfunction. So it's kind of justifying the mistake in the wall. So that's why this work was present there, because in other places probably in more regulated Western cities such error wouldn't be allowed. So in Bulgaria it was still kind of gray zone of regulation. So in the same time it was an opening of the Museum of Contemporary Art in Metelkovo in the window. And one of the dear part, it's on the table desk on the Slovenian curator Teuš Logar, just in the Shkuts, but not as a part of exhibition, it's just his personal desk table. And to talking about this, my fascination about globe, because I believe that artists really trying to think about all world in the same time, which is an impossible task, but we always try to imagine something which is impossible. So I came into another project which could be considered as a small, middle-scale sculpture. It's 1 square meter. But what makes it global, that it's 1 square meter from other side of the earth. So when I was a child, I was very much intrigued and fascinated to know what's happened on the other side of the earth. Somehow this question appeared for me even before I learned about gravity. So, and somehow I didn't question myself how people standing on the other side. But I was really surprisingly intrigued how they're eating. Why the food not falling out of their plates? Because probably for children it's sometimes hard to keep their food on the plate. So that's why I thought about the food. So, and I imagine just like an Alice in Wonderland. Can you imagine what happened in the same time of the other part of the globe? Would it be marvelous to know what people doing now exactly on the other side if we are drilling the earth through the center? So I propose this project as a simple sculpture. Like, can we take 1 square meter of other side and present here? And I imagine that it will look like some stupid, abstract, maybe even bronze sculpture on the street, but maybe some blossoming comes when people understand that it's not just a formal sculpture, it's exactly a replica of other side of the earth. So I made a model of one side hemisphere and other side hemisphere. Surprisingly, I find out that it's not easy to realize because only a small part of the land matched to the land on the other side. Majority is matched to the ocean. It's almost like a pro and contra, negative and positive. So what to do? My first proposal was for Moderna, museum in Ljubljana. And at the beginning I thought, oh, it's easy, probably China on the other side. That's what we learn as children in Europe. So the other side is China, which is not true. Other side of Ljubljana was Pacific Ocean. That's part of the Ljubljana, and that's the point of interest. In the Pacific Ocean, the closest land is New Zealand. What to do? How to get? And again, as an artist, you became a slave of your own idea. You try to use all your possible forces to realize. So I came to the communication. I started to write letter to the different institute of ocean and earth around the world. Can you help me? I know that it's possible. You have probably a ship with a sonar scanning. Can you provide me some three-dimensional skull and I will do the replica on the base of it. So actually those wandering open democratic way didn't work out very well. Most time I didn't get any answer. The best answer was from some American institute. They tell me, what a nice idea. Please let us know how you proceed. So I stuck, but not a long time. I start to think how to get person to the person. That's the most effective way, actually. Even in our democratic society, the most effective way if you know someone. As I learned that it's close to the New Zealand, I remember that one of my schoolmates became an astronomer and worked in observatory in New Zealand. I found his email address, I contacted him, he told, yes, I'm astronomer, it's true, I became astronomer, and I used to work in New Zealand, but now I'm in Switzerland observatory. But wait a second, I have a friend who worked in observatory still in New Zealand, and he gave me address of the friend in New Zealand. So I contact the friend in New Zealand in an observatory, he told, wait a second, I have a friend who worked in the National Institute of Water and Atmosphere in New Zealand. And that was a wonderful man, Leonel Carter. When I contacted him, through the personal contact, no problem. That's exactly what we are doing. What are you doing? Looking for other side antipode. No, we are researching the area which is your interest because it's very rich on metal. And we have a special subwater scanning and researching how to dig out this metal. So he provided me with a perfect map, even with a photo which they made with a station, with this description of sediment. So it's a 5,300 meters deep ocean. And he provided me a photo and description. And on the base of his description and material, I can make this 1 square meter of other side and present it in Ljubljana, that people know in Ljubljana what actually would be possible if the earth would be transparent and they could look down. So after I made another replica of other side in Jeu de Paume Museum in France, luckily the same wonderful scientist from the National Institute of Water in New Zealand helped me. It was slightly different, a little bit like a Neo Geo relief, but which is actually the corn worm cold feces. Which stay there because there's no motion of the water. So that's how it's looking in the Museum of Jeu de Paume. And after I start wondering and looking forward for possibility, actually made finally land-to-land match. And luckily, I got this invitation to the China Shanghai Biennale in 2014, I think. And I said, yes. Now I can do it because this part of China match with Argentina. So they provide me exhibition and location. I count other site in Argentina, and I imagine that I can go there by myself with an expedition, almost like Fitzgerald in the movie of Werner Herzog, and we go through the jungle in Argentina to find this place. The answer was very simple from organization. We don't have budget for your travel to other side of the earth. Okay, again comes the friends-to-friend connection. I knew some artist from Argentina. I wrote to him, could it be some help? He told, we have some magazine, internet magazine for artists, maybe you write your task and if somebody could help you who is close by. So in 2 days he tell, oh, you don't need magazine. I just send on my list and you have already more than 100 mails. I forward it to you, I can't answer all of them. So here I get a little bit shy and shame because most of the artists didn't read correctly what I wrote. They understood that I invited artists to participate in artistic projects. So I got plenty of portfolio, people who skilled in sculpture, especially to do in mold, and from resin, and from metal, and from everything. So I was so shy, I keep answering all of them to make situation clear that I'm not in charge to invite them in the group, I just need the help. So at the end, it was a wonderful help. That's another side of, that's a China location, and that's Argentina, somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And the help was from one doctor, dentist actually, who is a friend of one of the artists. And he said, no problem, I'm going to holiday, close to this place, in some hotel. It's just 20 minutes to drive to the place. If you explain me what you actually need, maybe I can help you. So I explain, I give him coordinate, so he have on his GPS, you can see it here. And as a dentist, I propose him, usually I would do it from silicone caoutchouc, but after he told, oh, don't worry, you have to wait for silicone caoutchouc. Dentist, we have another substance which dry very fast. I can do it with this substance. I even bought for him over internet several kilos of this material, so he made it, and he sent it a negative to me, so I made positive and presented in China. So that's other part of this point in China Biennale. So actually, just in the middle of nowhere, it's a dry grass. That's how we with the time, actually. Maybe I do one more project and we will. So just to think globally, sometimes as a global, I'm taking the Earth, but actually life and universe much bigger than the Earth. So that's another project, a Speedy Day, which going out of our Earth, and as we learn from the theory of relativity, which was also presented in many movies and many science fiction novels, this paradox, probably everybody knows from the first version of Planet of Apes, when astronaut went out and come back in 4 years of space travel, they meet the same planet but centuries ago. So the explanation of Albert Einstein was, in popular way, was called twins paradox. It means if you have two brothers, one became an astronaut and another stay, I don't know, as a teacher of geography. And imagine that rocket achieves the possibility to go so fast almost with the speed of light. And finally the brother, who is an astronaut, have a chance to go to faraway planet, and he go for the short time-wise trip for 2 years and coming back in 2 years. He would never meet his brother, who is a teacher of geography, because it would be centuries passed on the Earth. So I just imagine this impossible actually obtain situation in the head. And I imagine how the brother who is in the rocket observing the Earth, it's a hypothetical guess. You can't see this guess. So I imagine the room where time is looping very fast. So I create this room where you have a clock, which are passing, I have several versions. The last was 2 minutes. So 24 hours passing in 2 minutes. So, and in the room, you have day and night passing in 2 minutes. You, actually in 2 minutes, you live 1 day and 4 minutes, you live, 2 days pass and so on. And just, yeah, that's a small video. So just to have a construction where you can imagine this fast passing day. And of course it's a construction. I didn't like to make naturalistic feeling, so I made all technology actually visible and available for the visitor. So it's almost like a Truman Show. You came to the window and you see that it's all set up, but it doesn't neglect the moment that your days are passing, and it doesn't neglect the moment of perception. Because what I'm working, I didn't work with illusion or natural, I try to work with the perception of a human being, with the eyes, with feeling and so on. So that's the same work in Manifesta, because I was placed in the Hermitage Museum, which is a huge. So how to construct this work? So I make a black mirrored cube, and all day was passing these black mirror cubes. The mostly intriguing was a comment of people who didn't find the door. I heard two visitors talking. Have you seen this work? It's very interesting. It's like three-dimensional black square of Malevich. And coming from the space traveling, it's some other fascination which is not global, but I always thought it would be nice to see the star according to the human desire and human perception moving. So that's a small homage to Kubrick, what I say, or people find out it's also to Andy Warhol balloons. So it's a 5 balloons with a small motors, listening the music and flying, actually dancing simultaneously according to the music. So they all get the same sign, go up, go left, go down, twist it, and they follow the music. Here I would say that for me it's always very important to bring my idea to reality. So I know that you can do such job on the screen, but for me physical presence is always important in the work, that you don't stop on kind of unrealized ideas. So the proof of your struggle, the proof of your sureness could be at least materialized on the smaller scale you can. They have different score, but each score is just 2 minutes long. Okay, I will skip some of the work because I think it's too long. I will just come to the work which is at present here. It's a Don Quixote Pact, because another drive is, of course, it's absurdity, which creates a poetry in the conflict or clash of the function. And at the same time, the function is a very important part of my work. And I believe it's a very important part of any human activity, what kind of function you have. The work is supposed to carry certain constructive functionality. So we can see that ventilator driving the wind generator, supposedly attempting possibility to create a perpetuum mobile, which you know don't exist. But it's not about perpetuum mobile. Even I'm very much fascinated with the human desire to do it, as any human desire to do it. We know that they all waste much more than produce, and that's actually a problem which humanity also hides or pretend to hide, that we will make self-sustained system and so on. But most of this system are kind of fake packages. So we are still wasting much more than we are producing. So we need a third sources of energy. So they are both actually plugged to the third sources. And coming back to the function, I just finished with two work which in a way could be linked to this work, which have function and not clear what kind of function it is. But So that's the work which called Prometheus Electronic, where the real candle give a heat to the thermoelectric generator down and produce a light on electric candle. So actually it's an illustration of classical art. So the artist imitates the nature. What would be the sense of this imitation? Why we would do it? Because we have a human in between. And when human have a perception and human want to talk about this perception, but does it have a function? Yes, because it's real heat really generated and no electricity involved. And when I show another work which called Unplugged, where bulb not plugged, of course we can think about Tesla energy, but here it's a simple trick. The cable just extends to the real power. And once I got the task from the Italian curator, I want to show these two works together. My first reaction was, no, please. First have a real function. It's a real electricity produced with real light. But the second one, it's just a trick. It's a lie. You can't put truth and lie together. I'm for a real function. So it's kept me think through the night. And next morning I called him, no, please, show this work together. It's exactly how it's meant to be. Because they both have function, but we are not talking about technological function. We are in the area of art. We are talking about function of art. And those function even more visible, more present, when these two work could be exposed next to each other. So that's how we can think about another layer of functionality. That's all.